AMUCD2.TV.
Welcome to the second round of AMUCD2 up in the not quite so sunny Nelson Bay. Today we are joined by Inner West, coming from the right side of your screen, and the Burley Griffins on the left side of your screen.
So we've got Tarmac just off screen at the moment, to the right as said. They won pretty much everything on the disc flip. They are on offense, and they're also at the end, which chooses the gender ratio of the game.
Wet conditions out here today will be hard to catch. Both teams have been trying to get as many touches on the discs during their warm-ups as they can.
And we're starting off with 4 women, 3 men. It's good to see. First game, which was live streamed before, was 4 men all the way through. There goes the pull down to Tarmac.
Caught by Branson. Centering the disc. Up the line to Lacunza. Taking all the safe options they can, Tarmac. Turnover, Burley's with the disc. If you can hear that hooter, it's just to signal the start of the game. We were a couple of minutes early, apparently. Drop there from the Burley Griffins. Branson looking for the quick play up the line. And a score.
Yeah, lovely score there by Tarmac, moving it down the far side with ease. Bit of a turnover there in the middle of the gameplay, but returned the favour so that Tarmac got the disc back with the easy score. Tarmac 1 love up.
We have a signal from the Burley Griffins that they'll also be coming out with 4 males. The raid is definitely picking up in intensity here. Forehand's getting very difficult. We saw there a missed throw on the forehand side. I imagine we'll see a lot more of that today. Though on the plus side, the field is very lush, perfect layout weather. So hopefully we'll get some great highlight videos coming out of this tournament. Little 1-2s by the Griffins, moving it up the field before the defenders get down. We have a downfield pick call. Lovely game advisor hand signals from Peter Baker and Mark McClay there. And our second score of the game.
Yeah, lovely score to Burley Griffins. So all the scoring action early in the game down left side of the screen, so it's 1-1.
And we have our first signal of 4 women. So Inner West choosing to use 4 women this point. Sorry, we can't give you any names of players at the moment. Not many numbers on the AFTA website are correct. But we will see if we can improve that throughout the commentary.
So a steady drizzle here at the moment on the field. Not a lot of wind to speak of. You can see a bit of the drizzle actually on the camera there. Apologies for that, we don't have windscreen wipers on our camera setup at the moment, so I'll try and make sure that the drops don't interfere with your view of play. Pull out, brick mark taken by Tarmac. Nice movement up the middle for Tarmac.
Crocker with the disc looking long. Doesn't have many options. Dumps and up the line.
Hey, Kelly, stay behind. Kelly, stay behind.
Another up the line throw. Burley Griffins doing really well to force it towards that sideline there.
Yeah, throw straight into two Burley Griffin players there. That was a gnarly drop.
Players trying to wipe off the disc while they walk it in. Make it slightly easier for themselves. Burley's moving it up in lots of little passes. And a big throw to the end zone. And we have another goal. 2-1 to the Burley Griffins. Here we have the replay. Perfectly well weighted throw, way to keep it in the end zone. Shorter pull than some we've seen today. Didn't quite make the opposite brick mark.
Going for single defensive matchups here. A lot of easy unders from the Tarmac players. A couple more there, that was looked off. Players getting to each other's way and a turnover into the ground.
Yep, pure miss throw on that one. He knew where it wanted to go. Tarmac players not finding it difficult to get free from their horror setup. And another turnover. We have Branson bringing the disc. Inner West once again opting for their horror. Centering the disc. Oh, easy run through D for number 25 from the Burleys.
Yeah, miscommunication there between thrower and receiver. Receiver thought that it wasn't going to come, turned away just as the thrower released.
Now can the Burleys capitalise?
Just an errant throw there, going behind the receiver straight to the defender for an easy D. Tarmac pick up the disc, looking to move it quickly. That just wasn't totally into the ground, but just too low for the receiver to get it nicely. And then the turnover receives the favour again.
It's the wet disc, making it very difficult for both teams to get their throws off. Branson with the long shot for Shayna. As the game goes on, both teams will be able to better recognise their limitations in the rain, and it should make it a slightly less turnover happy game.
Brian, hard.
All right, Tomac, let's get the D.
Just walking the disc in from the 3-metre sideline, as per regulations. Lots of cuts, deep cuts from coming downfield. That was a sneaky through the two defensive players essentially on the mark together.
Nice open player on the sideline there. Moving it up the field, safe passes, safe throws. Oh, looking long. Well read by the Burley Griffins receiver. Managed to position himself perfectly under the disc.
Score 2-all.
Oh, 3-1.
3-1, sorry.
Lots of high fives from the Burley Griffins players between every point. Everyone that walks on and everyone that walks off gets a high five from every player. And Inner West have once again signalled for women. Seems to be a tactic that they'll be using throughout the game.
Yeah, they've definitely got a strong female line up there and use it to full advantage. Burley Griffin with the pull. It's a low disc, but it makes good ground. Skims along the ground, let go to bounce a little while. And Tarmac now centering around the brick mark. Just a little one over the top, reaches up. Burley Griffin gets a hand in the way, get the D.
Wasn't quite a zone there, but they did have a little bit of a poachy dump marker.
Go, Tommy! Strike!
Great backup there by a Burley Griffin player.
Oh, straight past the defender. She didn't see it coming. It was a great layout grab before that to continue the play and keep the disc alive as well by Burley Griffin.
And we have a timeout call from Inner West. Taking a 75-second break to regather themselves. Lots of smiles on the Burley Griffins' faces. Here we have that first layout of the day. And then this very sneaky, straight past the defender, thread the needle throw. Wally Crocker there from Tarmac giving them a rousing speech. And a crisp cheer. Mark of a very cohesive team. Our game advisors have a very mixed experience level in this game. We have Peter Baker, who is Australian representative game advisor attending Worlds and such. And then we have Mark McClay, game advising his first game. Here comes the pull from the Burleys. Goes right over our heads here at the side of the field and does not make it back in.
Confusion as to which disc it was. Now Tarmac get the correct disc. And they're going to opt to bring it back into play where it went out, which was pretty much about 2/3 way down the field on the sideline, getting the ground advantage there rather than a infield placement.
Crocker with the disc, looking for his dump. Centres the disc. Cross. Using their girls through the middle. Great movement there by Inner West. They don't want to hold the disc still for too long.
Probably needed a bit more balance on that throw. Step out a bit wider to get it round the mark if she could. That's why it was a bit bladey and landed short.
Or had we have our first complete slip disc of the day with the rain. And it's turnover.
Yeah, easy D by Burley Griffin players there. Read that out of the hand quite quickly and it was all over that.
Bit of pressure on the catch there, forcing the turnover. Inner West picking it up quickly, looking for the fast goal.
Tarmac claw one back, scores now 4-2 to Burley Griffin.
Burley Griffins hadn't quite sorted out their matchups on the turn there. Branson poached off to put a little bit of pressure on the receiver in the last play, forced a turnover, and then was able to get free fairly quickly. This player was not close by. Tarmac may have been given a little bit of a warning about offsides. They're a bit worried about it at the moment. But that time they're all good.
Yeah, that disc flying out a bit over the halfway mark.
Griffin's electing to take it from the brick. Oh, there was a hand. She may have changed her mind. Ooh.
Couldn't quite get a second effort there on the grab. Still count was a little bit high. Tarmac moving it quickly down the field. Oh, lovely layout bid and just got in the head of the Tarmac player.
Tarmac player thought he would not have a chance with the big layout. Proves you should just lay out for everything, right?
Absolutely. Nothing like that defensive pressure to get in the head of the player about to receive the disc.
That was almost another one.
Yeah, toes the line nicely. good field awareness.
Bit messy further downfield for Burley Griffins here. The under space is nice and clean, but the deep space is a bit clogged up.
High stall count. Lovely inside flick there to cross it to the field.
Oh,
There's definitely an opportunity there for Burley Griffin to get their 5th point of this match.
they got a hand to it. Tarmac bringing it in. Disc is in play, no one's cutting. Here we go. Up the line to Lacunza, poach off from Saxon at the front of the stack.
That was a beautifully red poach.
Missed throw there. It's going over the top of the receiver.
I just feel Burley Griffin at this point in time are rushing it. They don't need to rush it. They've got many more opportunities that they can go for to extend their lead and really put pressure on the Tarmac players.
But when you have a nice open pass in the end zone, maybe rush it, take the option.
Take that one, absolutely.
Great awareness of where the sideline was on that.
Yeah, a lot of good field awareness down this near side to not only just in the score but in the play itself early on in the match that we saw there, just really pushing it down the sideline, squeezing every inch out of the width of the field. Looks like we're also going to have a match-up of the gender wars here with Burley Griffin. Looks like they're probably going to elect to have 4 men each time they get the opportunity to select the gender ratio, with Tarmac selecting 4 women every time they get the chance to select the gender ratio.
It works out well that way, keeps it fairly even. Oh, punts it long. Receiver did well to find that over the wrong shoulder. Couldn't quite get his hands to it though. Griffin's using that underspace really well again. Setting themselves up for a great long shot. Crocker breaking it in very quickly. Doesn't have a mark on yet. Sends it long.
That's definitely been a feature of Tarmac's play. Whenever there's been a turnover, they've been very quick to bring it in. They want to capitalise the ability to recognise that there's going to be a mismatch, there's a quick turn, and going for that deep huck preferably. Here we go again. Yeah.
Oh, and we have our second slip disc of the day. Both teams now at 1 apiece, with the disc just wobbling out on the forehand side.
Yeah, just dropped with a slight breeze there. A bit of a wobbly disc out the hand. Nice grab by Tarmac.
The weather definitely making it harder for both teams at this point. A lot of unforced turnovers. Although it seems that miscommunications are also having a bit of an effect. Great down the line play from Tarmac there. Slide overthrow. Store count getting high. Great grab. They're going for the fast play again.
I just feel the fast play is the correct thing to do, but they're not capitalising. It's a bit too fast for them. Some of the downfield players not maybe in the headspace to receive the disc that quickly.
Definitely.
Just all need to be on the same page for that quick turnover.
Also in the wet, it's much easier to run onto the disc with your body behind it. You got a lot more chance of catching it, as we've seen 3 passes in a row from the Burleys. Making sure they're going to get right behind the disc and get both hands on it. Lots of safe options down the field. Gets them their 5th point.
6 points, 6-2.
And once again, Inner West signalling for women.
– 6-2 to Burley Griffin.
We have a hand from Inner West. Here comes the pull from Burley Griffins. Oh, about a metre out of field there.
Right in front of the central commentary position here.
Inner West electing you to take it from the sideline where it went out. Was around halfway somewhere.
Very blady flick there.
Yeah, the water on the disc. Once again, the Burleys using the space in front of the disc really well, but struggling with their deep cuts. It's a bit congested at that end of the field. Oh, lovely crossfield,
Oh,
great grab.
Great grab, yes. There's almost a miscommunication in colours. Burgundy to blue. Oh, that's a lovely layout.
Just trying to gain some ground down the sideline there. Bit of an overthrow. Inner West bringing it in as fast as they can again. Calls from the sideline saying don't push it, don't force it in. Taking their time at the end zone now, something that we haven't seen them do much. They like attacking very fast. But it works.
Yeah.
Using the entire width of the field on that one.
Tarmac happy to take that one now. Scores 6-3. They've pulled it back.
Oh, if anyone wants an example of a perfect layout form, that is the one to use. 2 hands on the disc, sliding with it.
So eyes at the moment on Tarmac, who've had a drought on point scoring up until that last point. Now half of the Burley Griffins score at 6-3. Just a shout out for all ladies out there in the Sydney region, or even who might be travelling to Sydney on November 19th for the Sydney Women's Hat. Temper sort of north of Sydney. Get amongst it all, ladies. It's a great hat tournament. Be a part of it.
Pool landing in, right near the end zone. And we see our first zone point of the game. Burley Griffins breaking through that zone. Trying to keep it moving as fast as they can.
Nice hammer over the top. Opens up the whole field. Sold the fake, the dummy. Burley Griffins score 7-3.
Looked like a puppy or pommy zone there with 4 people around the disc and 3 downfield. Once the Griffins were able to get through, the movement just flowed.
Yeah, it was a big, that first throw in the zone that they put on, that just allowed Burley Griffin to move it up quite easily.
Inner West once again signaling 4 women. The rain has eased off slightly now. Not quite as heavy as it was before, but everything is still very wet. Every time the disc touches the ground, it's picking up a lot of moisture, making those forehands extremely difficult. Very high pull from the Burley Griffins there. And it lands in. Inner West centering the disc. Huge gainer on the undercut there.
That's unfortunate. I really like the setup there of the Tarmac players on the left side of the field, and then the women cutting out, cutting under, couple in a row, then going deep. Wasn't able to make the option. An unfortunate turn there to the dump.
Burley's just moving it between the handlers, waiting for a good downfield development. There it is. Pinpoint accurate throw down the sideline.
So Burley Griffin takes half. 8-3. Let's see if Tarmac can regroup, and we'll see you after half.
Welcome back to the second half of Inner West and Burley Griffins. We now have the gender end zone on the left side of the field where Inner West will be coming out on defence. You can see Branson there trying to dry off as much of the disc as he can at the other end. I imagine when the Burleys go to pick it up, they'll do exactly the same thing.
And goes up. And there goes the pull. Nice low flat one. That'll skid along the ground. It'll collect a bit of water and make it a bit hard for the Burley Griffin players to grab hold of nicely.
We have another zone from Inner West. Once again, the 4 people around the disc.
It's nice zone awareness there as well. They knew that handler wanted to dump. So they gave up some upfield gaps in their pommy zone just to make sure that the dump throw was hard.
Oh, risky option there.
Would have liked to have seen the Burley Griffin player just attack that disc a bit more rather than sort of like be standoffish.
Branson to Lacunza in the end zone. Great grab. She's very tall and she's very good with the high grabs. We played Inner West at regionals at New South Wales Mixed State Champs, and she scored many goals against us. And once again, great awareness of where the sideline is.
Tomac still with a little bit of ground to make up. Yeah, still half score of Burley Griffin at 8-4.
Burley's just pulling away ever so slightly.
Tomac cannot keep affording to have this 2 scores to Burley for every one of theirs to happen. Need to start clawing back and turn this tide.
Another low pull there from James Branson. Sliding along the ground again. It's a good plan. Oh.
Yes, and it just goes show there, having to wipe that disc, just shake it, get all the water off of it.
Oh, we have an offside call from Inner West. So before the Burley Griffins picked up that disc, Inner West signalled offside. And so it'll be a re-pull as their first offence. If Burley Griffins are now offside again at any point in the game, they will have the offside penalty, which is they have to take the disc from the middle of their end zone on offence, or from Inner West will get it from the middle of the field on defence, when Burley Griffins are on defence.
Yeah, nice explanation, Hannah. It's not often you get to see that offside call, but it is part of the game.
And it's worth calling. The penalties are severe. Great 1-2s there from the Burley Griffins.
I was always going to be a hard ask for that inside flick throw. I was always going to maybe turn over from an outside in position rather go the IO route and come back into her from there, especially with a wet disc.
Oh, great pressure on the disc there, but it may have been a bit of contact.
From my position, definitely a bit more than just slight contact, and indeed it looks like that the foul is going to be called and it's going to be uncontested.
Lots of around break throws here with Inner West. And that forehand in the wet again. Really good play there, able to recognise when they needed to not do a long throw.
Zone's thrown immediately on by Tarmac. Lots of tight pressure. It's actually quite a close zone. Pop over the top. Again, just that defensive pressure, being able to get in the head of the Burley Griffin players causes the turnover.
Inner West going for the fast pick up and play. Receivers once again not quite ready. Technical stoppage here, slightly extending one of stoppage during play for an equipment. The equipment being his shoelace.
No look back to the dump.
High pressure zone. Finding it difficult to get any pass off at the moment.
Stepping on the foot of the zone player as he ran through.
So we're having an injury substitution by the look of it here. So they're discussing whether or not it should be called a foul because it doesn't really do much. It's just a downfield bit of a bump. But his foot is pretty sore, so he's going to come off.
The ultimate result is that it did affect the player's ability to do what he needed to do on the field.
That fast movement again from the Burleys, just 1-2s down the field.
That's a good cross-field option there. Slow it down, don't take too many
Oh.
options.
Great D by Shane Wolski there, but still caught by the Burley Griffins receiver.
Score is 9-4 to Burley Griffins.
Oh, bounced it right up in the air. Great read by the receiver there. And did well to hang on to it. There was a lot of contact with the ground. Inner West now at the gender end zone B. And they have signalled 4 women as they did in the first half.
The rains are coming down a bit more at the moment since we last gave you a weather check. It's quite steady. It's not overly heavy. And maybe a slight breeze pickup as well. Maybe going a little bit left to right.
Floaty pull from the Burley Griffins there. Caught by Crocker. Centered the disc. Downfield to Lacunza. Dumps the... Once again, keeping it in just on the sideline there. Great backup by Branson. Sends it long to Lacunza in the end zone. One-handed grab.
Makes it look easy.
Wish I was that confident in the wet.
Scores 9-5 to Burley Griffin.
Here we have that dump throw. just out of reach of Wally Crocker. Managed to get enough of a touch on it to slow it down for Branson to come in. Fair bit of contact there. And then just the super confident one-handed grab right at the back of the end zone. Goals are coming 1 for 1 at the moment. Inner West have stopped giving away 2 points for every one that they score. Hopefully now they can bring some back and make it a closer game.
Yeah, we love close games here. Previous live stream, which you can see, came down to Universe Point, with Wyndham winning over Banana Republic.
Oh,
That was a lovely layout bid.
disc changed angle right as it about to hit his hand. Inner West swinging it across the field. And before attacking down the line. Burley's still struggling to find their matchups. Another down the line pass.
Nice, Will.
And a misread.
Yeah, I think she was more worried about the back of the end zone there, so she was trying to keep her feet in bounds, but she had a bit more room to play with than she thought, and in the end caused the turnover.
Once again, drying the disc as much as he can while he walks it up. Inner West pulling out this high intensity zone that puts a lot of pressure around the disc again. There was a great overhead throw downfield by the Burley Griffins to try and break it up.
Lovely reflex grab.
Get in behind. Get in behind. Behind.
When they keep it moving and they don't give the zone time to set around the disc, their offense looks very, very nice.
Score is 10-5 to Burley Griffin, getting back into that 2-1 score zone.
Considering the amount of water we've had, not many of these players look like drowned rats. Everyone still looks pretty fresh. No one's huddled up on the sideline for warmth.
No, it is very warm weather up here. It's very Queensland-like, even though we've got the rain, so not a whole lot of shivering going on. It's like taking a warm soak in a bathtub with your clothes on.
It's every ultimate player's dream, right?
Yes. No, it does make for good ultimate, having that warm weather, being able to lay out. The only downside is, of course, the disc is slippery, which makes it slightly harder to catch and also slightly harder to throw. But only slightly. These guys know what they're doing.
Burley Griffins going for that floaty pull again. Caught by Crocker, centering the disc. Swinging. And an overthrow towards the sideline there.
Again, just looking at the difference between the two play styles, Burley Griffins just really happy to take the full 10 seconds to get to the disc.
Yep, and you can see the game advisors signalling that 10 seconds that they have with their chopping motions. Oh, well-placed throw there upfield.
That just needed to just be a little bit more out in front of the player. The receiver had to stall and looked back over his head just to get the disc and allowed the defensive pressure to come in and make the play on the disc.
Inner West putting a bit more pressure on those open unders now. Inner West picking it up very fast, but then nothing precipitated. Dumped it and turnover.
Yeah, I'd like to see when Inner West in that situation, at the front of the end zone, they pick up the disc really quickly, is for the players who are behind the disc just to stay out of the play, because I think really what held that up was
People
Inner West,
running through.
Yeah, exactly, Hannah. The Inner West players just running through, blocking line of sight from the handler to the intended receivers. Possibly could have got a good score out of that one.
Oh, we just had 2 quick turnovers. Oh, that one, not a turnover. They've decided it was a foul, uncontested.
Inner West get the score anyway. Bring it back a little bit, trailing Burley Griffins by 10-6.
On screen there we have Nicole, as I said earlier, goal scoring machine. Not afraid to put her body on the line with a layout or a bit of a contest. And she's great in the air. We have Branson with the pull again. His last maybe 4 or 5 pulls have all been fairly low, intended to skim along the ground, get as much moisture on them as they can. That one goes a little bit higher, but floats all the way into the end zone. Oh, a push pass, brave.
It's a very interesting choice of pass shot selection there.
Inner West once again putting on some sort of zone. Looks like they might have transitioned out of that quickly though.
Again, similar situation there. A lot of Burley Griffins players running past, but gets the goal.
Lots of excitement from the thrower there. I think he was pretty happy to have scored that one. Jumping up and down, waving his arms. Yeah, he's happy. Inner West once again signalling for women. Burley Griffins puller, hiding the disc under his shirt, trying to keep it dry. That is a lovely pull. Burley Griffins now pulling out the pommy zone. box out, a taller defender was able to still get the disc on the second grab, but it's still a goal.
Nicole!
What do we do without you?
The Inner West players on the sideline yelling for Nicole, what would we do without you? Well placed throw by Branson. Burley Griffins defender almost got there.
They score at the moment 11-6.
11-7.
11-7.
Here comes the pull. Well, it's heading towards the sideline. Doesn't look like it'll be coming back. I believe the Burley Griffins just signalled a brick. Yep.
Expect quick move. There we go.
Oh, that was a huge grab. That was amazing.
Oh,
One-handed flying through the air behind the defender.
that's definitely a team lifter and a game changer, that sort of play.
Boys, please show us that one again. We thought that layout earlier from Nicole right in front of us might have been the one of the plays of the day, but this one. Throw didn't go quite where he wanted it. Oh, that is huge. He must have got at least 3 meters across there. And then to score the goal as well. The roll. I love the roll.
Yeah, definitely the grab and the roll all in one.
Inner West catching the pull. Game advisor in the background signals offside, but Burley Griffins don't call it. Great pressure from the mark there by Burley Griffins. Griffins just taking their time on each throw. Not moving it quite as fast as Inner West. Ooh.
Power position. Puts it out in
Well
front.
placed. Ooh. We have a foul call there. I imagine the Inner West lady is arguing that he completely took her out.
Yeah, it looks justifiable to me, and no excuse of I'm making a play on the disc or I got to the disc before you is justifiable in that instance. But the discussion is ensuing and game advisors giving their opinion.
and the result is uncontested. So it's not a strip call, so she will get the disc but not have a goal. So it'll be taken from the front of the end zone once she checks, or once it's checked in. They look for the quick dump to get movement happening again. Attack the same corner, and it's just a drop.
She'd celebrated before she caught it, essentially, in there.
Burleys have a thrower with no mark. A little bit of confusion from the Inner West players about who had who there. Big put from the Burley Griffins. Did it make it to the end zone?
In. That's a score. Tarmac could be ruining the chance that they had there to pull it back to make it 12-8. Instead, the score goes out to 13-7.
They were so close on that grab in the end zone. Just need to make sure it's finished before you celebrate. It's a beautiful downfield throw from the Burley Griffins. That cut had started all the way back near the disc. Around the full length. We have about 5 minutes to go until time cap. This game might make 15. Both teams have signalled. Here comes the pull. And that one is definitely going out. Crocker has signalled a brick.
Burley Griffin setting up a pommy zone there, just leaving a little gap in the middle of the field. Work it down the far side. Big swing I can see happening. They want to tire out.
Ooh.
Tire out. If they just had that connection, they would have tired out the Burley Griffin zone a bit more. Didn't quite make that connection though.
It was good pressure by the Burley Griffins wing there. Just your presence sometimes is enough to stop a catch. Burley Griffins using the full width of the field.
We like to say no matter what your skill level, use two hands to catch at all times.
Especially if you have that much time.
Doesn't matter whether it's a crocodile catch or whether it's a two-hand rim catch. Just use two hands just to see it into the catch.
Another little miscommunication turnover there. And once again, another nice layout. Did well to keep it in.
I'm not too sure that was a necessary layout, but enjoyed the dive and the soft grass as well.
If it's not going to hurt, why not?
Absolutely.
And it looks good on camera.
So the score's 14-7 at the moment. Burley Griffin just need a turn and a score to take this game away from Tarmac.
Inner West have once again called for women. That is a huge pull. Not sure it'll come back. Might just get the angle on it at the end. Nope. Makes it to the other field. Branson taking it up to the brick mark. Burleys have got their zone out again. Dropped catch.
The turn they didn't want.
This might be it for the Burley Griffins.
No mark on the dump, easy upline cut.
Goes towards the end zone. D. Wolski, who had the drop before.
Makes amends, it's good to see.
Burley Griffins straight back into their zone.
So tight on the sideline, front cone of the end zone. Hail Mary hammer will stay in. It's a beautiful hammer.
Well placed. Oh,
Lovely
lucky.
backup, yes.
Bit of a miscommunication as to who that was to. And it just slips out of her hand on the fake.
Her body language said that all there.
I thought maybe a strip, and then I saw her face. And great run through D by Inner West. They know that they can't let the Burley Griffins get this one or it's all over.
Who's free?
Nice little hammer cross field. There is time cap, so it's going to be game to 15 either way.
Go Hawk, go Hawk.
Both teams getting the dropsies now.
Just like to see Tarmac settle it down a bit here.
Goes out on the sideline.
Some easy under, given up. So Tarmac really need to put a bit more defensive pressure on.
That was a great throw.
Take your time, you got no one.
Nice toe.
Great awareness. Burley's taking their time, taking the easy options. Not trying to force it into that end zone. And a turnover.
Yeah, hit it, hit it.
Oh, it's a big gainer for them. Burley have to now go the full length of the field once more.
And in this game, with all the drops that we've been having and the throwaways with the weather, it's not a bad place to be for Inner West.
Absolutely.
And there we have it.
That's it, front of the end zone. Let's see if Tarmac can put this away. Don't rush it.
Oh,
And they have just done that.
both teams starting to look a little exhausted on field now. There's lots of hands on hips and puffing. This one has been going for a while.
It's nice coverage. And again, just that easy turnover in front of the Tarmac end zone. Looks like there could be a call on that.
It's a foul. Back on the thrower. Appears to be uncontested, so it'll be coming in at 0. Yep, that's all we have from our game advisors. Centering pass.
Just really like to see the Tarmac players get a bit more. Yes, nice.
An overthrow there with a quick goal. Inner West is still in this.
Scores 14-8. What do you think, Hannah? Do Tarmac have it in them to claw 6-7 points back and take this?
7 points is a lot.
It's a big ask.
And with the amount of turns that we've been having this game from both teams, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm sure they're keeping their hopes high, but I would put my money on the Burleys at this point.
Yeah, it's a big score gap to overcome.
It's been done. I'm just not sure it's going to happen. Oh, we have an offside call.
Oh, turn the favour.
So that is 1 apiece now. We get a re-pull from Tarmac. Let's see if they can get a little further down the field this time. Always nice when they do a re-pull and it's an even better pull than the last one.
Yes.
Well, that would also be interesting if Tarmac were offside again and Burley's got to take it from halfway. Love a bit of drama in the final stages of the game. Tarmac being very careful there.
Low flat roller.
Good position for the Burleys. Just near halfway. Taking the easy option to begin with and getting a little stuck. Oh, hotly contested grab. Way to back up your teammate there. Sends it long.
Oh, was that another one-handed grab?
Yep, and looking to where she was going to throw it, not to the grab. Hammer towards the end zone.
Oh, easy grab there by Tarmac.
Inner West playing down the far sideline.
Is there an open player? Looks it off. Opts for an easier short option. Dumps there unguarded. Big swing around to the near side. Bit of congestion in the middle. Has to centre it again to her dump. All eyes on the Tarmac players. That was just pushed a little bit too wide.
There was a little bit of a bump downfield, which distracted a couple of players. But it is still a turnover, and Burley Griffins will be bringing it in. They have a lot of ground to make here, though.
But let's see if Tarmac can do the same again.
Oh,
And that one's coming back in where it was thrown.
It was a great hand block, well timed by Wally Crocker there.
Fooled,
Exactly what his team needed.
fooled no one, exactly. Now let's see what Tarmac do. Let's see what they're made of. Towed in. Burley Griffins giving them the benefit.
Pick
I say
call.
pick, sorry, not goal.
And it's going back. Let's see if Inner West can do it again. A couple of Burley Griffin players on the sideline had already started running towards the end zone to get on. Slightly disappointed. Inner West dumping again, going for the quick. Oh, not an easy grab. It was right at the ankles.
Heartbreaking stuff for Tarmac. That was a bit zippy, that one. That's a lovely one-handed grab there.
Once again with the fast play. I hope I wasn't a little premature with my money being placed on the Burley Griffins. Inner West doing well.
I've got 14-9 on the sideline scoreboard here.
Burley Griffins coming out on offense here. All they need to do is hold on to the disc. Couple of long games in this time slot. The field next door with Hills and Macduff. I think it's Macduff B still going. Then further down, another one game still continuing on the bottom fields as well. We have a hand from the Burley Griffins, just waiting on Inner West. Here it comes. Wally Crocker with the pull. It's high, doesn't get a huge amount of distance.
Imagine what's going through the Burley Griffins players' minds at the moment. They're up 14-6. They're now looking down possibly a 14-10 comeback. They'll want to be switched on for this. They'll really want to put this one away and say, let's end this game here, because if Tarmac gets this point, it's going to play into Burley Griffin's head, and they could actually go down.
I imagine they're also feeling a bit of the pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another handball by Wally.
It. Let's keep it chilly.
Oh. Oh.
Tarmac are not making it easy for themselves here. For every score they get, it's like they've got to score 3. It's going to float over, and I think the foot was on the line. Yeah, foot definitely on the line for that one.
This game just keeps going. Points are not coming easy for either team.
Where's the fill? Oh, she let it go.
Miscommunication there, too many fills. Burley's picking it up quickly. Lots of people running deep.
Running deep, and there's a no huck force on. Got a little bit of finger to that one, actually.
Wally on the mark, looking for his third handblock of the game.
It's the dump.
It's close every time. Great throw to the end zone.
And that will finish the game. Congratulations to Burley Griffins. Commiserations to Tarmac, and score 15-9 to Burley Griffins, and a game well played.
Burley Griffins will be very happy to come away with that win. Here we have the centering pass. And then the big forehand downfield to a very open receiver. He watches it into his hands, 2 hands. Didn't want to risk another one of those drops that we've seen earlier today.
Stay with us. We have more games coming up later in the day at the Australian Mixed Ultimate Championships here at Nelson Bay. Also, just give another final plug to the Sydney Women's Hat that's coming up on November 19th. Played just north of Sydney in Temper, and get amongst that. Get in, put on social media, tell your friends about it. It's a great hat tournament to be played in Sydney. This is Phil Shield signing off.
And Hannah Monty. See you next game.
Alti.tv